Sweetie, we gotta go. We're gonna be late for the ferry.
What ferry?
The ferry. It leaves in 5 minutes.
That's not a real ferry.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
If you missed our last video, we pointed Freedom South to explore the South Puget Sound region and a few of its well-known anchorage destinations. After an enjoyable time in Jarrell Cove, which we highly recommend and can't wait to go back to, we're now en route to 2 new anchorages. Our first stop as we make our way back to What's Daddy doing, buddy? Pulling in the dinghy so when we anchor it doesn't flop around too much. We're pulling in, there's Long Branch Marina to our port side, and then the north part of Filucy Bay, which is, from what I've been learning, is a really large natural habitat and estuary. Apparently there have been bears known to be walking the shores, which given all the houses here, I find that hard to believe, but
Now's probably the time though. Low tide.
low tide, I know. You never know. So right now we're in about 22 feet of water. The charts have us at 36, and that's at low tide.
Yeah, charts are usually mean low water. So that would be the depth of the water at low tide, provided there's not a minus tide. So the reason why our boat number, right now we're at low tide, the reason our boat number is lower than the water is that reading is from the bottom of our boat. So it's about 6 feet, 5.5 feet that you need to add to that.
And that's the draft of our boat. So that 5.5 feet that we draw is from the water line to the bottom of our keel that we've got.
So right now it's at about -2 feet.
So what's a minus tide?
Everything sort of is referenced off of 0, but depending on cycles of the moon, at times it actually goes below the 0 mark. So today it's 2 feet below 0.
Huh?
And then at high tide, it's 14 feet above, so almost 16 feet of tidal swing today. So we want to make sure that we put out enough anchor scope based on high tide. So if you take the 36 and add 14 to it, that's 50 feet. So we should be laying out probably 5 times that in scope, so 250 feet of chain.
So you might be wondering what this hook is and why we attach it to our anchor chain every time we anchor. It's called the anchor bridle or snubber, and its main purpose is to take the strain off the anchor chain rode and reduce stress on the windlass deck joint. The boat cleats can then take on much of this load, which they're more equipped to do, and we can reduce wear on the boat. We also don't have much, if any, chain jerking or snagging from waves or high wind gusts, which is especially nice when we're sleeping. This is definitely We are leaving Filucy Bay. We've been here less than 24 hours. We got here yesterday afternoon. I think it was around 1:30, and took a dinghy ride and just checked everything out. And quite honestly, I don't think I'd ever come back here again. It's, there's really no place to get off of your boat for hiking. There is a marina, but you obviously need to be staying at the marina and need the gate code to get out of the marina. And there's a lot of houses. You don't feel very secluded or private. It's pretty, but Jarrell Cove, from where we came from, definitely has Filucy Bay beat. And we're looking forward to checking out Oro Bay today. It's not too far. It's less than a couple hour cruise from here. It's just another island or two over, I think. Is it 2 islands over, Sean? Would you come back to Filucy Bay?
No, not necessarily.
No. A couple people told us it was really good. And it's nice. It's a good stop off, but definitely doesn't rank high on our list of anchorages. So quick trip. Just had breakfast and showered, and we'll get moving on to the next place. We should totally have like a hook or something to push the mud off the anchor, because we end up going through a ton of water, hosing the anchor chain down when we're pulling it up. But luckily we've been making water for the last 4 days, so we're keeping up, which our water maker is like a total lifesaver. Just because at anchor, if we don't stay in one spot the whole time, pulling up the anchor takes so much water. Every time we're using all that water, I'm just thinking like that's one less shower we're gonna be able to take. But not if you have a water maker. And with our last update on the water maker, when Sean did some work on it, we did notice an improvement, and even a slight improvement since then. So we're eking out about 5 gallons an hour, which definitely keeps up. So when we leave with a full 300 gallons plus our water maker for a week or two or even longer, we're able to keep up, which is good. And then we don't have to worry too much when we're hosing down the anchor chain. At only 8 nautical miles from Filucy Bay, our cruise to Oro Bay was a little over an hour, leaving us plenty of time to enjoy the day on the dinghy. And if weird antiques and island prisons are your thing, you'll definitely like what we find.
As soon as we gotta go, we're gonna be late for the ferry.
What ferry?
The ferry. It leaves in 5 minutes.
That's not a real ferry.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It's absolutely a real ferry.
Oh, you're joshing with me again, aren't you?
Come on, we gotta go. You don't wanna be late. I wonder when you get to like the last working day of this thing's life, and you're like, I'm just gonna drive this thing right onto the beach, leave it here forever.
Yeah, you wonder. Meet the Ocean City Ferry, or more commonly known as the Beached Ferry in Oro Bay. As the story goes, in the 1980s, a man by the name of Tommy Palmer won the ferry in a Virginia auction and brought it all the way through the Panama Canal hoping to win a private contract to ferry Anderson Island passengers. The county said no, and it's been here ever since. He was said to have hosted his daughter's wedding party on it, but that's about it. Everything, including the water today, is super green. There's another boat over there that's... It's like the home of the shipwrecks. It's an interesting place for sure. I mean, if you've got kids and you come here for the night, your kids are gonna love it. And we're a couple of big kids. That's why it's so exciting for us. So we decided we're gonna go to the place that has freaked me out for a long time. We're gonna go check out McNeil Island, but first we need to come back and grab a hat and some beverages and an extra jacket because it's getting chilly. It's always chilly. Okay. It's so true about the Pacific Northwest. You need about 10 layers. Definitely true today. Ready to go, bud? All right. Ready for round 2?
Ready.
McNeil Island.
Visitation's over. It's time to get you back to present.
There's only men on the island, by the way.
There was a female or two.
There were 2.
Yeah. Right, so time to get mommy back.
If beached ferries aren't your thing, maybe you'll find McNeil Island a bit more interesting. This island is 6.5 square miles of land located just north of Anderson Island. For most of its history, it's been owned by the government and was a federal prison for over a century, from 1875 to 1981. One of its most famous inmates was Charles Manson from 1961 to 1966. 3 years before committing his heinous murders that we know him for, Manson made his way to McNeil Island for trying to cash a forged government check. After being turned over to the Washington State Department of Corrections, the prison became McNeil Island Correction Center until closing in 2011. It was the last remaining island prison in the U.S. to be accessible only by air or sea. The island is by no means shut down like the Ocean City Ferry. A special commitment center now remains, housing 214 sexually violent predators. All have completed their standard prison sentences, but are indefinitely committed here for treatment. Very few will, if ever, leave. As creepy or random as these spots might be, they certainly make for one interesting day on the dinghy. You garden your boat? So Sean, Filucy Bay or Oro Bay? What's your, out of the two that we've been to in the last, now 24 hours, what's your preference and why?
There's probably a little bit more to do here. The ferry's cool to dinghy by. Filucy's a bigger anchorage. Here you have to watch out a little bit more. It's shallower, so it's probably a little bit more limited as to where you can anchor. The water was cleaner in Filucy than it is here.
5 seconds. 5.
Here, Oro Bay. How about you?
Oro Bay for sure.
Well, no hesitation.
I'm not a fan of Filucy.
No.
You definitely feel more remote and secluded here. And that ferry wreck / beached ferry is super interesting to see and just kind of cool. Something fun to go dinghy to. I don't know, there's just a different, it seems different here. Just, you know, I'm always like that. I get a certain feeling of every place we go, and this is by far, out of the two, the best. Well, there you have it. Oro Bay takes the cake for our favorite anchorage in South Puget Sound. Or at least in the last 48 hours. We've got a growing list of new and old cruising ground to cover this summer, and we hope you'll join us. So be sure to subscribe, hit that bell, and give us a thumbs up. See you next time.